This is what it's like for me living off-grid in northern Arizona. You know those really fancy B-roll footages that YouTubers put at the beginning of their videos? Like making some really nice cappuccino? This is not that. This is my turmeric and beet powder, garlic, and there's black pepper in there to make the turmeric work better. It helps lower blood pressure, and the beets are really good for your blood and athleticism. It can actually help improve your cardio ability by up to 10%. And I take this every day, and then I wash it down with some black coffee. This is what it's like for me living off-grid in northern Arizona. Oh, right on the head there, buddy. Look how thick my boar is getting. It looks like he shed his hair or something. Like his hair is all short now. He looks super clean. You can see his tusk, and then you can see the lines down the side of his body there. Look how plump he is. Oh, there we go. The younger sow is catching up to the older one. The garden wasn't extremely happy yesterday while it was 95, but most of it seems to have bounced back. I'm trying to germinate some moringa trees. There's 4 seeds. Actually, there's extras in there. And then I've got 14 willow hybrid trees here. I plan to upgrade the solar system soon that's on my shop. And then I will be able to put little solar systems around the homestead. But for now, I'm just gonna... Oh, look at this caterpillar. Wonder if it's still alive. Nope, it's dead. I'm just gonna turn on this pump and keep the water moving to prevent mosquitoes. Look at this funny chicken digging its own geothermal greenhouse like I did. You taking a dirt bath? I have moringa seeds right here, hopefully germinating. And I have 14 willow trees. I think an obviously good place would be to put maybe a couple by the swale here, because it automatically gets watered, but I definitely want to plant some on both sides of the pond so that I create shade and wind blockage and just make a nice area that's shaded more. It'll be good for the pond. It'll be a nice kind of an oasis to get away from the sun, and I'll be able to grow stuff below them. And then I've been talking about growing trees out here in kind of an orchard where when the pond overflows, it waters these swells, and I can water those on purpose as well. So I just want to figure out a way, you know, maybe put 4 or 5 willows out there for shade and wind blockage and privacy, and then I could grow maybe some fruit trees in between them. My system powered my washer just fine, and it was powering the dryer pretty well until it wasn't. And so it wasn't quite enough to run everything in the shop and the washer and then the dryer. Maybe if I only did the washer then the dryer, it might work. It's well, it's gonna be 95 today. I'll bet this is already dry. Almost, well, yeah, it's dry. So, almost dry. So I just barely hung these up, and by the time I got back around, they're almost dry. I guess it won't be a problem to dry things out here when I can. And I'll have to go, my generator kind of broke down the first while I was out here, and I only used it a couple times and never cared to fix it. So I think I'm going to take it in and get it fixed. So, you know, that's 2 weeks worth of clothes for me. So, you know, once every 2 weeks I could run that for 30 minutes and it'd power my dryer just fine. Or I've been planning to replace, these are 8 100-watt solar panels, and I've been planning to upgrade to 1200 watts with roughly 300-watt panels. And what that'll do is it might be enough to power the dryer on a sunny day. And then all of those individual panels, I can use those around the homestead to power pumps and filters at the pond, to power pumps at the cistern. Oh, I said that already. To power a pump at the cistern, to power a filter and a pump at the pond, and then to run the geothermal so that the fan can keep it cool when it's hot or warmer when it's cold. I built this geothermal greenhouse to help extend the season, and when I did it, I only had straight connections instead of having like a 30-degree or a 45. And while the front, you see the front and the back, they held. They're 10-foot PVC 2-inch with the connector glued, and I just bent them over, and they're held into the ground with rebar on an angle, which is like 4 feet into the ground. And this had a foot of snow on it the first winter, and I think that was the biggest cause of, you know, kind of damaging up here. And so I don't have any connectors today, but I finally have a ladder and some really good greenhouse tape, and I'm thinking I'm going to go up there, cut the pipe down a little bit, maybe drill some holes and just pull them together with some wire, and then pull the plastic up over top and tape it closed to prevent any damage. So hopefully, you know, I can get this through the entire winter, and I can reinforce the ends as well. So far, I started to take down the shade cloth. Shout out to the guy that sent this little giant ladder in. I've been needing a ladder like this for a long time, and I was going to buy like a cheap ladder. And, you know, this is a really nice ladder this guy sent in, so that's going to allow me to do this job today. I'm just going to climb up in there and do what I can to patch up these spots. I'm going to set up a solar system over here as well, so that I can put a temperature regulator on here, and it'll be capable of running 24/7. So if it falls out of temperature, the fan can kick on, and that pulls, I've got 200 feet of that hose. It's 4-inch corrugated, about 3 feet underground in here, and that'll help cool it off when it's hot and heat it up when it's too warm. Every day I check the gardens first thing, and I've been waiting for 2 flowers to come up on this vine here. I'm not sure what kind of squash this is, but I've got squash here. So I just pollinated those flowers by sticking my finger in there, you know, just getting some of the pollen on my finger. I'll show you what it looks like if you... So you can get this pollen on your finger and then rub it into the other flower and help pollinate them. This one on this side, I've been able to pollinate before, but I see there's 2 flowers that are new that I can pollinate. Actually, I'm not going to cut that at all. I'm just going to drill some holes in it and pull it together with some wire. For those that are wondering, it's a 2-hour drive to the city to a Home Depot. And I've tried to order parts online and it just hasn't worked out. So being this far out, this is not a bad solution to get through the winter. See how easy that was? So that's the final product right there. Just reinforced everything, pulled the pipes together, and you know, snow falls on that point, it should pretty well go downhill pretty quick, and I think it'll be just fine. It's held up with the rip in it for like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months, I think. Both holes are patched up pretty well now. The shade cloth is back in place, and I just need to go outside and button up the ends of the greenhouse. I'm going to put a screw through that to hold it in place. I found one stripped out tap screw. I guess I better order more of these. You know what? I need to grab another tapping screw. Found it. An old rusty 8mm. I noticed this corner was blowing up a little bit, and it's because this screw had been worked its way out. So I'm going to silicone this hole. Normally I don't put screws in this flat areas, by the way. They go in the ribs, but there's nowhere to put it, so I sealed it and didn't get any leaks. And they have a rubber gasket on them too, but I'm going to move the solar panel for my security camera up here, and I'm just going to silicone. I'm going to silicone the holes now. I'll put the screw in and tighten it down till it's almost tight. I'll put more silicone around the base, and as I tighten the screw, the 3 screws will hold the solar panel in place and keep this from blowing up at all. This was all scrap material, and look how it's held up perfectly fine all this time. Would you consider subscribing to my channel? It's an easy way to learn more about my frugal off-grid homestead. Comment below if you would like to live off-grid in a similar situation. And if you want to get some land for only $200 a month, check out my link below, and there's a discount code to save 10% off of your piece of property. I love to be frugal and build stuff out of scrap material, and this was pretty full, but it's starting to kind of thin out, and I could probably move all of my scrap material to just one nice neat area over here. And the trailer and the buckets around it are just trash that I didn't, stuff that I'm going to haul to the dump. But this trailer is broken down, and so I'm going to move all my scrap material to one nice neat location, and then I'm going to back my other trailer up and fill it full of all of this trash. And the next time I run to town, I'll just haul that into town. It's like, I think last time it was like $15, and this will only be my second load to haul to the dump in just over 2 years, mostly because I purposely don't buy stuff that has all kinds of junk associated with it, and cardboard I put in the compost. New rule. I have a rule for myself that anytime, no matter what, if I see some garbage on the ground, I stop and I pick it up and get rid of it. Especially like a nail, or I think here's a piece. See, this is just a little piece of plastic. There's really not much trash on my homestead, and it's because anytime I see anything, I pick it up and get rid of it. I was surprised to see how much of this spiky plat there is. Maybe I'll identify it so I can tell you what it is. So I had some scrap, you know, from moving. I cleaned up the scrap over there, and there's just some pieces I'll never use. So I'm burning the foliage that I'm getting rid of, and that little bit of wood. Everything that was over here, except for the little bit of countertop, which I'll move over, has been moved over here, and I put it in nice neat order. And I don't know if I'll make it to it today, but I'll back up the trailer and I'll load all that stuff onto it, and anything I'm going to keep I'll put over here nice and neat, but 99% of that is just going to get hauled to the dump. Looks like this one is going to end about the same way that it started. Catch you guys on the next one. Next time on Frugal Off Grid, I finished loading my trailer and made some upgrades to my burn barrel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out.